this story its title is King David Love for God. I was flying in one dimension where I saw a beautiful bar where people like to drink. But outside there was a glass was so big that you can see people inside who were drinking. And I saw also King David and he was drinking red wine, and he looked at me and he smiled at me. This dimension, one side is protected dimension, and as a neighbor dimension, I saw the Philistine and all this nation who King David was making have to confrontation and war, and many war, and they got killed. Strange nation, and also King David people too. However, in this case, angel protection was there where King David lived. And here began what King David wanted to share with me. So I'm not repeating Old Testament, but some part, King David love for God. When King David was laughing, I saw on his side teeth. It was whole, some teeth was missing. It means a lot of bloodshed took place, and in his lifetime, and many things happen which will tell us his love for God and at the same time his confrontation with this strange nation. King David said to me, he's a small height man, about, you can say about 160 or a little bit in this 155 and 160. Brighter shoulder. He said to me, Zahid, very early in my life, I was doing unusual thing which society of this time was not so proud on such a thing actually. This was a time period when the great people who could pride by family and society, who had a high rank in the army, who was brave and encouraged people and special people how to use sword and different war technique. And who know the many exercise to use different weapon, because this was a time for one nation fight with another nation. There was no peaceful time. However, among of my many brothers, I was the youngest. And I was longing very much a musical instrument which was a very was not appreciated in this time. This was the lowest thing have seen in the society, like a lower, more or less prostitutes, the woman who sings, but this was not at all was proud if men learn music. And in my case, my brothers and my father, there was not so much pride at me. Because I was a master on all kind of instrument of music, especially flute and other instrument. Not only this thing, I was learning and I was teaching even this. And same time, I was very much interested in the poetry. So my father was proud on his other son who has a high position in the army and who was doing according to the society great work. But in my case, he almost was a hopeless, and he called me many times. What kind of work you are doing, like a lower class woman who sing and make money in the prostitute area actually. But I did not listen and I did not pay attention to my father. So I took ships with me and I went far away, countryside where near the mountain I sat down in the shadow and write my poetries. And because this was my music's inner wish, because in this music I become very emotional and I have read and I know historical great prophet, especially Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and all great prophets who work for God. And this touched me very much. And learning music and different instrument and becoming master, yeah, it was my emotional love which I like to express in my lifetime. So in this case, whatever poetry I was writing, whatever music I compose, and music instrument which I was playing, I was making many melodies and I sing my own music, my own composing. For God actually. And whenever I was composing my own poetry, own music, writing my own poetry, with my own musical instrument and my voice, it was making me very mistakes in the love of God. So you can say, I have chosen totally different things in my life according to this society which was living that time when mostly war was going on nation to nation, and most prideful people who was really courage and brave in the war actually. But I was not interested actually, but I wanted to express my love through my musical instrument, through my voice, through my poetry. It was amazing things. That God was admired my music, my voice, my poetry, and I could see many intensive dreams and vision which took me far away from this age of war, age of killing each other. And through my music, through my poetry, through my composing and my voice, I wanted to meet God actually. The turning point came in my life when this prophet, Samuel, he came, I don't remember right now, but King David was talking about Samuel. But I can check later on. That when this prophet came to our family and wanted to bless one of these, our brothers. However, my other brother was tall, brighter, and was a fighter and have a position in the armies. So Prophet Samuel was very much inspired that one of them must be there, who God will bless it. Somehow, God was saying every time, don't look at their face and body. Don't look at their external form. That's the way I don't bless. So, every time Prophet was asking, my father, did you have somebody else? And he brought one by one all the people, all his sons, but not a one of he blessed. After a while, he asked, did you have more son left? First of all, he felt shame and he ignored it. And he don't want to mention about me. But when Prophet insists that if you have another son, Then he said, yes, I have one son, but I'm ashamed. And I feel shunted that I have such a son which I cannot be so much proud on him actually. So he asked him, I want to see this son. So finally he sent somebody to ask me to come, and he want to brought before this Prophet Samuel. Later, Samuel meet me alone and ask, you know, in our society, this music, this instrument is kind of lower kind of people. And why you do such a thing? So I told him, and I told Samuel, through my music, through my poetry, through my voice, all music which I make, I research to meet the God of Israel. So Samuel asked me, tomorrow I will come to you and I want to hear your music, your composing, your poetry. Actually, Samuel is higher dimension than King David. So I was meeting King Samuel too. He says, when I went another day to hear his music, he was playing flute, and you can hear from far away in this his flute, and I became mystics. That's what Samuel said. And This was so much touched me that I was so full in God emotionally that I fell 3 times. I hit the stone until I went to this David. So Samuel asked David, okay, then I was hearing your flute and it took me very far away. And at this point, this King David say, I play few my song which I express God glory and God love. And I play different instrument. And I saw that Samuel was crying and shedding tears actually. He says, David, now I know God don't look at external faces or external body which is fit in fitness. God is not a God like a human thing. He don't look at person's external beauty and outcomes. God look at very deeply in heart actually. So King David says that he was is about 7 sons brought before Samuel, and he did not choose anyone. So when I came, God was saying to Samuel, bless him. From that day, God's shadow was present with David. King David says that actually in my heart, I was not ready my heart and my mind was not ready. These times in the war actually, I was living in one world of emotion. I was a man of heart and emotion, but because of later traditions, I learned also in the war technique and instrument, because this was a tradition of time, but my heart was not there. My heart was, I always felt every day, every evening to only compose music, write my poetry and compose a song for God actually. But my brother saw me always, me as a troublemaker. They saw that any place, any occasion when somebody says something against God, I lost my patience and I start fighting, because there was a different nation who disrespected God of Israel. So my brother always thought that, and they say to me, you call yourself, you are poet, you are composing music and songs, but same time we see you are troublemaker actually. Every way, whoever says something against God, you are ready to fight, ready to make a war. And this, you cause us also in the trouble actually. So King David was saying, I actually never thought that somebody will take my world away, my world of music, my world of poetry, my world that I love to play different instruments and I teach. I never thought that somebody will take this world away and throw me in totally another world which my mind and heart was never ready and prepared, that I will make a war against God's enemies and Philistines and other nations. And this was also my ancestors who was loving God and who has given sacrifices. And I came to know through Samuel that God's heart is different from King Saul. and God want to see me in this position. And because of in this case, when I came near, because Saul has a many time attack of evil spirit, and when they mentioned to him that I'm the one who through his music and songs and my relationship with God, evil spirit will leave him. So Saul called me, and I was, every time I sing songs and play music, he feel harmony. And one day Saul say to me, I would let Mary, my daughter, marry up. But you should do one work for me, that you should make a wars against God, those nations who are against God. First of all, I was not ready. I rejected this offer of Saul. And I says, my mind and heart is not in the war. Though you will marry with your daughter, but when time came, Saul didn't marry up, and he betrayed, and he let marry with somebody else. But another daughter, this Michal, Saul's daughter, was in love with me. David says. So finally, Saul was saying, I will give you this daughter. And so I became in the family of King Saul. Sorry. And Saul was tempting King David that because I let you marry with my daughter, another daughter, Michal. So to have something back, I want that you should kill Philistine and always make a revenge against them. But Saul had a different motivation. He wanted that Philistine kill me. Life went on, but my heart, my world was the music, and I felt if somebody will take this away, He will take my whole spirit out. And this day I will not able to live. I will live physically, but I will die. So I continue. Put my effort in my music instrument, my songs, my poetry. And in this case, Saul was not happy. And in this time period, the Samuel died. And I was asking many times, why it's so necessary and important to have many words to make God of Israel happy. Why God wants these wars? And I have seen historically prophet Moses, how many wars he created against different strange nations. I know many things. But this question still always bothered me when especially I was writing poetry in love for God, when I was composing my music, because I have also people who I teach music, all these instruments. When I was singing in love for God, I felt very heavy stone in my heart. Why we have to make a bloodshed? In the name of God of Israel. But myself, I never thought that I will be also one of who will make so much bloodshed, and in the war many 80,000, 100,000 people will get killed through my own hand. This I never thought actually. The only thing what I want so in this case, I was living in two worlds actually. The world in which was an emotion I could bring out my tears, emotional feeling. And when I play different instrument, I was so far away. Mystics, my poetry. And there was the other world, which was the bloodshed, wars going on, killing going on. And worse situation was to make slaves in this living true world. Many times I was asking God of Israel, why all mankind cannot be just open his heart and love you? Why mankind cannot have peace, harmony, and loving you and loving fellow mankind? But this, every time in this world I went far away, other world was waiting for me as a King David to create bloodshed. And I never thought even 1 second, then one day I will make also poetry of war, and I will curse my enemies in war, and I will also ask God to destroy my family, my enemies, and I will all the time will be hanged with my poetry to curse my enemy, and also ask God to destroy them and wipe them out. This I never thought of. This when I look at back now, when I'm spiritual world, I'm speechless. That I ask myself, King David, so many characters in one person. And of course, I was timing when I drank for God, and I sing songs and play my music, and as a even king, I love to make music, love to play instrument, love to share my poetry, and also, of course, drinking alcohol. I became so mystic in love of God that many occasions I became naked. But I did not care, because I felt this is my deepest expression to God. Then I am naked for God. That I have only God my inside of my heart. And one occasion my wife, she was watching from the palace window, and she saw how I was singing and dancing and became naked. She was accusing me later on, and I say to her, I will become again and again naked. I don't care what publicum say or what people think, for my God I will be. Every time I will be mystic, I would love to become naked. And she thought, I have lost my respect. But in my case, I did not care in my lifetime opinion of people, opinion of my time society. I have done the right thing what my heart was feeling. What I felt the best for God of Israel. In many cases, I was very loyal in my life. Before I had a guidance from Samuel, but Samuel was then died and they let him bury in Ramah in his own house. And although this was a very much guidance by Saul, and now later I was alone. So I have to make my own many decisions in my life. There's also this Michael, who was my wife. She also betrayed me. And she was somebody else. And Saul also played one role here. And in this case, King David says, circumstances have taken me my world away of emotion and music, and where I felt home, where I felt near with God of Israel, and brought me another, the bitter truth, the world of bloodshed, making a war with nation. Like I told you, my heart and mind I was not ready. And between this time, I saw that King David was drinking more and more wine and was getting drunk. Then King David looked at me and he said, look, nothing changed. Even now, in your time period, same war, same confrontation, same even religious world creating a war. Later Muhammad created so many wars and tried to also wipe out Israelites. And he even tried that even 20 people will follow Israeli, then all Israel is going to follow. But Muhammad died later when Muhammad came. But Israel, he could not brought in Islamization. And that's make me unhappy. That's make Jacob unhappy. And Isaac unhappy. So he wanted actually Muhammad later on when he came, but his wish was not fulfilled. And he came in spiritual world. And even today, 21st century in your time, Israeli, they have existence there. And now Israeli became much more one of superpower. And even there are so many wolves around Islamic countries, but even they come together, mobilize, they cannot do anything against Israeli state. I asked King David, did you meet Muhammad? He said, no, I feel distant from him. Not only I, also many Old Testament prophets. If it is Isaiah, Jeremiah, who came in Israelites, Samuel, or if they were John the Baptist, or even Jesus, we feel distant from Muhammad actually, because what he say and what is behind motivation, and beyond this content another motivation is we don't feel happy with Muhammad actually. So but what his motivation was that whole Israeli should be follow Islam, or it should be deleted from the world maps Israeli. But by all means he could not make it. And we Israeli in your time living all over the world. Only the biggest mistake what they did, Israeli nations, that they brought Jesus on the cross. Actually, this was the golden time for Israeli, that they could build the kingdom of God together with these messiahs, this Emmanuel, Yeshua. But there was also great mistake. He was challenging known society, Pharisee, Sadducee, and criticizing them, and was making confrontation, not knowing that he don't have any foundation. And he should know that Pharisee, Sadducee, they were the powerful people in the Roman power. They had a lot of authority. He could estimate by himself, that he underestimating Farsi and Saduki, and they can kill him. And then exactly happened, they brought him on the cross. And he don't have any foundation, Jesus. So what he could do against them? So in this case, Israeli, in the timing of how you call Jesus, they was blind, but Jesus did not use any wisdom of God either, and he make a confrontation, and he should know he has no chance against Israeli society. He should go very diplomat way, where he keep his temper down and try to find many bases with this Israeli society until he get a great foundation, or he should leave and go to Rome and begin new foundation and try to convince Roman. If Roman would become, even life of time changes, even 73 people Roman follow. Jesus would not go with this suffering and pain actually. And he was getting drunk, more drunk, more mystics, King David. And he was asking me, I should drink. I say, but you're getting drunk. He said, yeah, but in spiritual world is allowed. And this alcohol is not like on earth alcohol. It don't give you headache. It don't give you bad smell. And it only remind my love for God. And remind me what should I would be, and which timing I was born, and then King David said, if I were born in your time, I would be one of greatest musician. I would be known singer, and I would make so many songs for God that through my music, through my song, composing and my voice, I bring, in your time in 21st century, human attention emotionally to God actually. And this touched me very much. I say, David, you are really, that's very true. If you live in my time and you are special teacher in music, composing and composing and writing your own songs, you would be you could play a great role actually to bring mankind to God actually. And he said, yes, many times I think about you, Zahid, and I say, many times when I drink, now I make my music very emotionally for God. I don't make my any music, any poetry to kill my enemy. In the long run later in spiritual world when I came, I found out actually we make each other enemy. But actually in love there is no enemy. And today I'm a non-violent man, and I don't have any enemy. But I cannot wipe out my past, what I have done. And then he says, I had one wish. I was thinking when I will meet you, I will say to you, if I would live in your time, I would be famous. Again, I would not be able to meet you. Even I live in your time, because when you are a special VIP person and you are the Messiah coming from another direction, maybe we will never meet. But today I want to open my heart, because now in spiritual life, you don't know many dimensions, but they know you actually. So I have only one wish. Today we meet each other, and I want that you ask God, and I being an angel, that they should allow me, my spirit, to come. And so long now you live on earth. I know you became old man, but so long you live on earth, if I can help you to find musical people and to help you to build the kingdom of God. This is my wish. And I see you are sitting with me here, and I know many things about your past. You was enjoying alcohol, but then there came a time when God asked you that you have a great mission. And I understood God was right, that no mission destroy because of alcohol. Even other mission destroy of alcohol. And many prophets, and especially Emmanuel, who you call Christianity Jesus, his mission destroyed because he became alcoholic and was drinking every day. So God asked you one time, when you were living homeless in different country, that you should quit alcohol. And from this day on, you quit. You never drink again. But what spirit do with body, it do in spiritual world too. Now I'm sitting here with you, and alcohol is allowed. I am drinking, but I have a wish in my whole heart that I drink with you together actually. And but now you are sitting as a spiritual person, and because you give up on earth, not alcohol, not to drink, I'm drinking alone here. I feel sad. I say to David, who is the King David, One day when I come in the spiritual world and I will give many God divine seminar in paradise and I will invite you. Another I'll call. And one day maybe we go together and we will drink alcohol with God hand. This day I will drink even more than you. When King David heard this, he started laughing and I again saw his sight, big teeth which you bite for food, was not there because was killed. What a God, because what was a because God had killed so many people, also many innocent people got killed in his time. And then King David says, actually, in spiritual world when I came and I heard everything about my son, Solomon, I was broken heart. This I never thought that he will worship many other gods beside God of Israel, and God's heart will be distant from him. And then King David started crying actually, because this, he educated him like this, that he will hold on this, my glory, my love for God of Israel. But because of so many women, princes which came, they brought their own goddess, and Solomon started also worshipping them. And I says, did you have the opportunity to see him? He said, he started shedding tears. He says, only 1-2 occasion. He is in down dimension and mirror dimension. Like you also meet him, he justifies that he was giving freedom of other believer and religion too, that they should worship their own, they can worship their own God. So in this case, he giving justification that he was most tolerant person. And if you look at today, 21st century, in your society, and so is now happening, that they give freedom of opinion. Freedom, religion have freedom to worship, but they like to worship and their God. So, this, but that's true. King Solomon was saying me too, that if I was born in your time, then you see that I have done that time in cruel middle age, that I give people freedom to worship their God. And I don't want to force them. And that's exactly happened 21st century in your time, that every religion has freedom to practice. If it's Islam or Christianity or Israeli or Buddhist or Hindu, in your time you cannot force and violate other religion in the name of one God. So that's what Solomon gave expression. Maybe Solomon is right, but I told King David this time period Solomon was not right. Because this time period, if he hold on strong, because there was a peaceful time, King Solomon. This was the time when there was a many contract with Solomon and nation was living in the peace. This was the timing, and he was a very wisdomful King Solomon, your son. This time period actually he should was the timing for the Messiah. And Messiah came. I told King David, and I was telling Solomon too, when I visited his dimension. But because you start worshipping different God, this foundation destroy, and this Messiah, who was living in this time, also was a weak Messiah, who got dominated by his wife, family influence, and he rejected God's amazing grace to stand as a Messiah. So I said to King David, I told Solomon too, that time he destroyed a wonderful foundation of God. So God felt distant from him. King David kept silence. He says, I can talk to you days and years, but I know you are living on earth and you have to go back. But if you share this, what I have shared with you, that even yesterday, in the Middle Age, dark society, I was loving God. And I was a different person. And even today I love God. But between what happened, King David say, I wonder if this was my character. But truly it's happened with my hand. So much bloodshed, so many disobedience. And even I took other people's wife. And for example, this king, this Solomon was born, this was a wife. His mother was a wife of somebody else. And God was very unhappy. So many mistakes happen, I cannot now I cannot do something better, but I had many things good what I have done. And God was forgiving me. And at least I became very good dimension. But beside me is not a good dimension. It is still bloodshed and war. But I have given long time ago this world. So before I want to leave, King David say, you will ask God or heaven or permission from me, from angel, that's why my most inner wish, that I should spend some time on earth to work for the will of God with you. And I say, yes, I will do. And I will ask. And maybe you can inspire in our one family where some people comes who love music, who compose music, who write poetry. So their song will remember in the love of God. He took me in arms where like he know me million years. And he was shedding so many tears. And then he said to me goodbye. And I took over. And then he was watching me until I disappeared. So I thought it would be fair I would share King David's love for God actually. And I share in front of you his both character, his other character. And but mostly character which I came to know King David, that he was very emotional in the love of God. So I write this story. And I met King David many times in spiritual world. And now because this occasion was very special, so I record this story in my book. And coming generation maybe can hear and can learn the lesson and we become much better God's son and daughter to respond to the voice of God.